everyone. I'm Rob Thomas with Club and Resort Business, and today's episode of Club and Resort Talks is sponsored by Flat Tech. Located in Schaumburg, Illinois, and founded in Sydney, Australia, Flat manufactures a wide range of award-winning table stabilization and alignment solutions. Their products are available in more than 40 countries and are used by some of the world's leading brands. Creating an exclusive and memorable dining experience can be a daunting task. Flat has developed proven solutions to help you, your club, make the experience a positive one for your members and guests. Learn more at flattech.com. Hey, just want to let you know that I'm flying solo today. Phil Keren's a little under the weather. Hope he gets better soon. But I want to talk real quick about a few things in the news recently and stuff that we have on clubandresortbusiness.com. So go there to check out a little more, dig into it. First off, David Werfel, member at Meisner Country Club in Delray Beach, Florida. He recently played all 50 states, played golf in all 50 states. That's a big accomplishment. Not a lot of people have done that. Alaska's a tough one to get into, right? And so many other states. I guess the story goes, he sat down with their director of golf and shared his story. He had a sales job, and that took him to a lot of different places where he played golf and different outings, different with clients, whatever. And he never really thought, okay, I'm going to play golf in all 50 states. But once he got like past halfway, hey, this is doable. And that's when he set his sights on completing the 50. Congratulations. He names his most memorable golf courses that he's played. I think he's got some pretty big ones in there. Clubandresortbusiness.com to learn more. While we're talking about Meisner Country Club, we also just recently ran an article on the Meisner Country Club Women's Association. They raised money for victims of the Maui wildfires. Terrible devastation in Lahaina Harbor. We've all seen all the news. They want people, while I have you, go back to Maui. Don't stay away. In the days immediately following, they were saying stay away. Don't come to Maui. Don't come to Lahaina Harbor. But more broadly, Lahaina is a very small part of Maui, and there's resorts all over that island. Please go there, visit the resorts, play the golf courses, spend your money. They need it. It's really going to help in rebuilding the island. Also, one more thing about Meisner Country Club. Congratulations, Mark Beto is the new COO. Mark was most recently at Houston Country Club. That was in our Club People on the Move. If you have a new job, if you have recently been promoted, changed clubs, or received award, distinction, an honor, whatever, let us know. R. Thomas at WTWH Media is the easiest way to get a hold of me. Send us your information, send us a headshot, and we'll share it. Every 2 weeks we do that, and I love doing it. Also in Florida, away from Meisner, but Boca West Country Club, they just recently, a bunch of employees, part of their We Care, rounded up 21 pounds of garbage at a local beach. Big. People just dispose of their garbage. It's terrible. But we care. Boca West Country Club does care, and they did a lot to help out the community there. Also in Florida, in clubandresortbusiness.com, we recently ran an article on Gray Oaks Country Club's new in-range technology at the driving range. It's big for their members. It's not very common to see, but they have introduced in-range, and curious to see how it goes. This is the first year. They'll be doing more, obviously, over the winter season. The season's just kicking off down there in Florida. And I'm interested to see how much food and beverage gets bumped up, how much play they get at their club, what their members are thinking, and what the next step is. Also curious to see which club follows suit. Which one's the next one to install this advanced technology on their driving range? It's more than just some place to get loosened up now. You can actually play games. You can hone your clubs down to the yard. Big news for members at Gray Oaks Country Club. And I want to know what your club is doing. Also within the realm of practice range, practice facilities, indoor, outdoor, whatever. Let me get you two now. That's it, real quick, right? That was our news of the day, our news of the week. Clubandresortbusiness.com is we're going to find that. Going back to Phil. Phil recently sat down with a couple people from the Country Club of Buffalo. They have been doing a lot. They have shooting at the club, traps. They have like a walking path as well, where you're shooting clays. Big business, and they've been bringing clubs in, other clubs that have shooting members, and this is an update to a new program, a new tournament, new contest they are doing there at the club, hosting, and also been traveling. So stay tuned. Let's hear from Phil and the Country Club of Buffalo. Take care, stay well, and have a great day.
Thank you, first of all, for the coverage you've given in the past on this. I think it was very helpful as we look to expand it this year. Actually, I know Medina, I think, saw the article and called us and said, "Hey, is there a spot for us?" So thank you.
You're welcome. Sure, my pleasure.
So as you know, we had Buffalo, we had 3 other teams, and we wanted we had 2 or 3 stops because of COVID. Nick was very supportive to let us continue to bang through this thing, and finally we got it done. And it was really from the basis of the other 3 teams, which is Rochester, Longue Vue, and Brookline. They loved it. The guys were great guys. We had a good time. And then we looked to expand it to 8 teams. And the way we did that was to include all of the contests within the team contest, rather than individual contests. So before we had a team contest, and then we had individual ski, trap, So now they're all included, and that's how we're able to get to 8 teams. Actually, we could probably go to 10, but in the second year, we're going to be conservative and go to 8 teams. So I think the document I sent you shows the new teams are Oakmont, Medina, and Pepper Pike, and Kirkland, and then all the other teams have stayed the same. We put together a large trophy that will move to the winning club. We wanted to make sure it was impressive, but it's also a bit of the fun, right? So we'd love to retain it, but if we don't, it'll be prominently displayed in the winning club for a year. We'll engrave it with the date and club and names of the folks that the winning team, and then they'll bring it back the next year for the presentation to the club that wins it the 3rd year. So very similar to the last year. They'll come in for a practice round, and the clubs, we've highly encouraged them to come in for a practice round because our brush walk and 5-stand are very unique, and we don't really want this to be a home field advantage. So that's the other reason that we added all of the other events, because some of the other clubs only have ski, like Brookline only has ski. Longue Vue has a 5-stand and ski. So they should be the best. Brookline only has ski. They should be the best ski shooters. So we want them to, have a real advantage in one of the disciplines. We'd love to have every club move away with some type of winning event.
Right. Was there a trophy last year? I thought there was, or no?
Yeah, there was individual trophies.
Oh, there was individual.
Yeah.
Okay.
So each of the members that won got a trophy for the team trophy that was CCV, but then there was individual trophies for each of the fields. So
Okay,
the only thing we're adding, and when you see this trophy, I hope you'll be impressed. I mean, it's pretty, Nick said, make sure it's well done, so if it shows up somewhere else, it needs to be reflective of first class, so he was very supportive of getting that done.
Beautiful trophy.
yeah. But the only difference between what's being awarded last year to this year is that this year you have the
Every-
large trophy that goes to the team, right? That's a team.
Well, each of the people will get their smaller versions of the
Right.
large trophy. And
Okay,
the trophy will go for display at the winning club for a year. And then they'll bring it back to us.
right.
And one of the things I should mention is that, and a lot of them claimed it right off the bat, is we said, hey, this is a new event. We want it to move for many years, but if you participate in the first year, you have the first right of refusal. So when we told clubs that we were going to do this again, they said, we're in.
Hmm.
And actually, we had, the guys from Pepper Pike came in, I think, December or January, because we shoot all winter. They shot a brush walk and said, can we have a spot? I said, you're in. So they reserved all the rooms right off the bat that day.
Wow. Okay. Great.
And I just want to take the time to compliment Nick and his staff. The entire club, from the valet to everybody, went beyond their everywhere to make this thing an extraordinary success. And we got, that's the feedback we got from the various clubs.
Hmm.
And we have, well, first of all, we had extraordinary weather. So, but we're the only private club in the US of a country club that has 5 fields. Most of the other clubs only have 1 or 2 fields, and the complexity of our fields make it a little bit of a very challenging competition, because you have people that are expert skeet shooters, trap shooters, and sporting clays, but to bring 5 or 6 guys on a team and all have to go through that discipline makes it really pretty challenging. But we've never set this up to be sort of a cutthroat event. It's really a friendly event, and that's how the first, and I think that's how, knowing the guys that from last year and the Cleveland guys that have come in, and I've shot with the Oakmont guys down in Laurel Valley, so they're a bunch of really good guys as well. And our chef is looking at, well, they'll knock the food out of the box and the wine the whole bit, but he's looking at bringing a guest chef. So it'll be a surprise, another chef note, so that'll be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you said a guest chef? Is that right?
Yes, yeah, from another club, well-known club, which he'll come in, or she, it could be she, and come in and help him, but so they can knock it out of the park together.
Okay. Is that another new
Yeah,
component of it this year?
Yeah.
Right. The chef, an added chef here on the team, if you will. Okay.
we don't know. He's working with the several people, just trying to get the schedule together so that they can figure that out.
Nick, did you want to add more to what Kevin shared?
I would just say, Phil, we're thrilled to have the event again this year, and that the previous participants enjoyed it enough to sign up again, and that we had 4 new teams to add to the field this year. We're thrilled to show off. I mean, my biased opinion, I think we have a world-class shooting facility. I think most would agree with that. And to bring together, some of the top clubs from around the country that also enjoy sporting clays and golf on their own properties, it's just an exciting event. I'm glad Mr. Clarke had the idea. I'm glad that we have the opportunity to host it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's fun for us as a staff to show off a little bit to people that we know appreciate a world-class experience. And it was fun to see last year. I'll tell you, the participants, getting to see them not just enjoying the facilities and the shooting, but the camaraderie. It was really it was a great couple of days, and we're thrilled to do it again.
I think. Okay, I'm sorry. I think the
No,
one
go
thing that was interesting, a lot of the people that came in took advantage of playing the golf course because our weather was so good.
right.
Some of them, we end on Saturday about 1 o'clock. So someone went out and played golf then, and some stayed over and elected to play golf on Sunday, which we got rave reviews for our golf course as well. So as Nick said, I think what was helpful is the guys from Pepper Pike said, "Hey, can we bring our buddies in from Kirkland because they're how far apart?"
Maybe 20 miles.
Yeah, so that's how the two teams from Cleveland came together, and I think a direct result of the great article you did on us, the Medina guys called me, and we said, "Oh, we'd love that." And then the Oakmont guys I know because I pheasant hunt with them and bird hunt with them, and so they're in the process of putting together a team. The other thing is that the clubs now can bring an extra person. Before we tried to say 5. But a lot of the clubs came in and said, "Hey, we're having trouble not eliminating, just selecting 5.
Right.
We'd love to bring 6 or 7, but the scheduling it's really quite complex."
Mm-hmm.
So, but now, if all the clubs come in with 6 members, then the competition will be a 1,200 bird scratch shoot versus 1,000. So, all good news. Other than we're going to be praying for good weather.
Right. Of course. Always. Oh, wait. So that's also a new component that each club can bring.
They
6
can
people
bring up to
instead of
6. They
5.
can bring up to 6 shooters.
Mm-hmm. Whereas last year it was
Yeah,
5.
5. So what we'll do is the 6th shooter in each field, the captain will say, everybody will shoot, but in advance he'll say, Kevin's score does not count for the team score on this event, but it will count against the Top Gun event. So if I shoot, I need to shoot 200 birds. So if I shoot 175 out of 200, and that's the best score, I will win the Top Gun event. And I will send you his coordinates, Rich Knapp, who was not only the Country Club team captain, but he was the Top Gun shooter from last year.
Okay. Just make sure I follow that. So you got six people on a team, and in each event, everybody gets to shoot, but for the
So,
captain will decide that one of the
Yeah,
shooter's
fi-
scores doesn't count toward the team
Right.
score. Did I follow that right?
Yeah.
And but everybody's score, of course, goes toward Top Gun because that's the
5 out of 6 shooters, you have to have 5 out of 6.
Mhm.
And shoot
Right.
50 birds apiece on trap, 50 birds skeet, 50 birds 5 stand, and
Got it.
50 birds brush walk. So for example, I'm the captain, I'll say, I'm going to shoot trap, but my score is not going to count on trap.
Right. Got it. Right. But your scores still count toward the Top Gun,
Yes.
even though
Yes.
it's not toward the team. Got it. Okay, that's cool. That makes sense. I was wondering about that. Okay. So that works.
Well,
Okay.
there's some minutia. We standardized the ammo this year
Mm-hmm.
so that we went to 1 ounce loads, so it's easier for some of the older guys like me to shoot. So there's a lot of minutia there. The rules are all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is not a competition like you'll get in a traditional sporting clays when you get people from all over the country coming in. This is a fun, great, unbelievable. Nick and his staff, the food, selections of wine, cigars, brandy, scotch, tastings, knocked it out of the park last year, and we're assuming they're going to do the same thing this year. I know they're going to do the same thing this year.
Great. So schedule wise, it's pretty much the same, right? Like you have registration on the 2nd, you have a practice session that day if you want, and then the competition is the 3rd and the 4th of November, right?
Yeah, I believe so. So we're highly encouraging the teams that have not shot our brush walk and our 5 stand to come in and do that because it is really a significant home field advantage for us. So we really want to flatten that out.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever want to see what that looks like, you can go to my YouTube channel and you'll see the brush walk and you'll see the 5 stand, and it's quite unique.
Okay. I mean, I confess I'm not a shooter. I'm a golfer. I'm not, so I don't know. But if you were describing it to a shooter, and they'll understand it, what is unique about the brush
Well,
walk and the five
right,
stand different from other ones? Yeah.
Yeah, well, the brush walk, we believe it's the last of its type.
Mm-hmm.
People will say they have a quail walk, which is typically you're walking in the woods and the trapper will throw a bird up, but you pretty much know where it's going, where it's coming from. Here you're walking down, and we have a wooded area in our shooting field that's really contiguous to our 18th hole. So when golf stops, then we're able to open that up. But two men are walking down, they're ready to shoot, their guns are loaded, and they're walking down a path that might be 15 feet wide, all treed, and all of the traps are hidden in the woods. And the trapper is behind you, and if I'm on the left, I shoot all the birds that originate from the left.
Okay.
But I don't know. So we're walking with a loaded gun side by side, and you hear bird. You got to find your bird. You got to see if it's a single or if it's a double, and shoot, right. Same thing with the right, but it's not like left, right, left, right. He can go down and pull 6 birds in a row on me, and 1 for my partner, or vice versa. So it's very, very hard. We haven't had a 25 out there in 12 or 13 years, and we've entertained some of the best shooters in the country.
Right.
This is a very, very complex, but most of the people that shoot it are enamored with it. So the guys that came in from Pepper Pike, as soon as they shot the brush walk, were it.
Yeah.
So, it's quite unique. And the 5 stand is just that. It's 5 stands that individual shooters start with. And then the first bird, you know where it's coming from. There's a menu, it says bird number 8. And then it's a single, and you go down, and then when it gets back to you, then it's a report pair. And a report pair is you call for the bird, you shoot it, and as soon as you shoot it, the second bird is released. And then in the third time through on the first station, it's a true pair. So 2 birds come up at the same time.
Right.
But without getting too technical, there's chandelles, there's batus, which are different shaped, speed. And the guys from Longue Vue were commenting to some of the guys in Pittsburgh, and I said, we love their club, but the 5 stand is torturous. I mean, it's a true taste of shooting. But I think one of the things that they were amazed at, and this really goes to Nick and his people, and Anthony Tosh, who's the superintendent, we have field officers on every station. Every station. A lot of clubs, I don't know about the country clubs that we shot, but every one of our fields, being 5, the trappers are certified, trained field officers. And that's very unique. These people have to go through, I don't know how many hours of training and recertification. They're all identified, and we tell people, we have a whole safety briefing when the clubs come in. They'll all start out, we have a video, we have all sorts of information that they have to sign and agree to in advance. And we say, the guys in the red hats, if they say guns down or whatever, we listen. So I think that's a tribute to Nick and his people. They really take this extraordinarily serious, as we all do.
Sure. Okay.
I think we're close to 100 years here in shooting.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I need to check the
26?
history book. There's, I think I need to check the history book. I want to say it was either 27 or 31 that
Okay.
Trap House opened.
I have to I'll show you later. I know.
Okay, so it might be
But,
27.
but we're close to 100 years of shooting here now. The
Right.
facilities have changed somewhat, but and we're the only place you can shoot in our town legally. Everywhere else, we're grandfathered. I think because of we have a lot of land here, but we're also extraordinarily safe.
Right. Okay. Okay. One thing I should ask too, we talked about it's expanded to 8 teams. Now is that it for this year? You're going to have the 8 teams, and
well, or
are you still hoping to get more?
Well, we had one of, I think, the best teams in the U.S. And unfortunately, the date didn't work for them. So I've said to the teams that, hey, if you know somebody that you shoot with all the time that really, really you think would benefit from this, would, you know, if they would commit to it sooner than later, we might be able to get to 10. That would probably be our maximum. But it would really be, for example, if the guys in the country club said, hey, we got another great team from Boston. You would love to bring them. Is there spot? I think we could get to a total of 10.
Okay. Yeah. And
So,
you're saying 10 would, you envision 10 is probably the maximum, like,
yeah, and keep it
period
within,
forever. Yeah.
keep it within the day and a half.
Yeah, right.
If we wanted to go to 2 full days, you know, we could improve to maybe 12 teams.
Okay.
But you know, we're trying to make sure, because we've gone from 22 shooters last year, and now we're going to go to as high as 48.
Mm,
And
right.
and it is quite complex. But a lot of the other thing is we have a lot of volunteers, enthusiastic volunteers, who both get ready for the program with our Tin Man that's coming up in October, and then we'll move right in 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later to the Invitational.
Okay. Okay. How many about how many volunteers will you have working at the event here?
Other than club members, which, you know, we have a lot of club members, but we probably have 6 or 7 volunteers that are good, accomplished shooters that are there to help people know where the fields are, if they have any questions. You know, we've got it pretty much down to a science. Everybody gets a detailed schedule so they know where they are. The scoreboards everywhere. We're going from individual tents this year to a huge tent. So all 8 teams will be sort of in a huge tent, and then we have their club logos and signs for them, which they thought was fun and appreciative. And then I hope to get Dr. Keekley, who you'll see his name is on the bottom of those photos. He's a dentist, but I think he's as good a photographer as he is a dentist. So I want to see if he'll come out and do some you know, photography. And then I'm looking for probably one of our young kids that's a drone operator and do some drone photos just for fun, so I can share that with the other teams. I don't know. No, and thanks again for the coverage. I think you know, your people that read your magazine, I read it all the time. I like your vignettes you send, you know, you blast out there about what's going on around the world and what different clubs are doing. So that's very helpful as we, you know, look to improve our shooting program even more.
As far as generally how the competition is going to unfold over the day and a half, is it basically the same as it was last year?
The only thing different will be there'll be no individual contest as separate contests. So last year,
right,
they'll all be incorporated. So, for example, all 48 contestants or shooters will shoot 50 birds in trap. Now, somebody shoots 50 out of 50 and no one else shoots 50 out of 50, that person will be the trap winner. He'll get one of those nice small buffaloes. But his 50 birds will count against the team score.
Right.
Before, what we did, I wanted to encourage the teams to bring in, that's why we allowed them to bring the 6 shooters. So if they had somebody that only shot trap, they could bring him in so that they had the best chance of winning the trap championship.
Right.
That's the only difference last year. And then last year we allowed them to shoot 28 and 20 gauge as a separate category of competition. So this year it's all 12 gauge, absent if somebody just wants to shoot 20 through the competition, we'll allow them to do that. And then we, you know, thankful for Nick and his guys, they went out and sourced all the ammo for this, because ammo is still a little bit tight. We wanted the absolute best ammo that exists out there, and Nick and Anthony went out and got all that taken care of a few months ago. So we know we're good.
Well, thanks for your time, gentlemen. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
thank you. Thanks for your interest in the Country Club Buffalo. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Phil.